Howdy, YouTubers. Sorry I haven't got a video out in the past, I think 3 weeks. Life just got really busy. Sorry, but, we had the holidays and, uh, I had to go spend some time with my kids, which, that took a weekend. And then I had a whole bunch of work on a couple of snowmobiles that turned, of course, into bigger projects than I had imagined. Got that done, and this last weekend we had snowmobile safety. Not that I needed it or my wife, but Ish did. He was required by law. He's 14 to take the course, and I thought it'd be a good idea that Christine also take the course, even though she wasn't required by law. She could at least take the course and learn something, and they both did. And congratulations to them both. They both passed with flying colors, and it was all good. But that entailed Saturday and Sunday of this weekend. So Ish is at his buddy's house tonight. They don't have school on Monday. So I thought, well, I got some free time here. It'd be a good time to get a video out. So that's what I'm doing. And I was talking with my friend Paul McGill, and I'm sure you may have known him, Old Dog New Tricks. And I was telling Paul, I said, I got so busy. I haven't made a video, and I haven't had a lot of content in my head lately. And he said, Roy, if I was you, I'd go on YouTube, make a video and explain that, explain that how we chatted and what we chatted about. And I thought, I don't know, would people be interested in that? So I thought, well, I'm gonna take his advice, and that's what I'm going to do. So anyway, Paul called me this morning and we were chatting about life in general. And he asked me, he said, are you going to buy land in the Philippines? And I said, Paul, after last year, that was a kind of a souring effect, I guess, humbling. And if you watch any of our prior real estate videos, you know how that went. And we're at the point, statistically, my wife is going to outlive me, And so I figured, rather than fret about it and worry, which that's what I was doing. I was literally worrying about if we could find the right place, if, when, whatsoever, what island, how is this all going to go? And I was worrying about it. And I thought, I'm not going to worry about this any longer. We've got roughly 4.5 years until we decide to make a change, whatever change that may be at that point. And then I'm going to let my wife decide. If she wants to build a home or buy a home in the Philippines, that's what we'll do. If not, then we'll go over there and rent. But I'm not going to get upset or excited or let that cause a loss of sleep by any means. If you've watched any of our other videos, you understand, that I put everything in place the way it should be prior to us going there, and all of that's going to happen. And of course, if health matters change for the worst, then it wouldn't happen. Then we would just stay here. And that's what I had told Paul, and he's there. He made the commitment to live there full time. And we're not in that position. I've got 4 children of my own here in the United States. Not that I can't go there and live happily ever after. And of course, they could come and see us, and we could go back and forth. And with social media today, with everything that's available, it's not like it would be horrible. But on the flip side of that, we've got right now a 14-year-old son. And when he gets to that age that I'm going to finally retire, he'll be 18, and he'll want to go on to either tech school or college or the military. And if he chose the military, so to speak, then we would consider maybe living in the Philippines longer per year. So I guess we're just going to wait and see. I want him to make the best choice for him I'll try to steer them, in the right direction. But I'm going to leave that up to however the wind blows at that point in time. So we're not going to lose any sleep over that. And if it's meant to be, it'll be. And so we chatted about that, and of course about other things, and YouTube in general. And I just said I don't have any real good content, Paul. I try to make videos that you, the viewer, wants to watch or possibly need to watch. And Paul says, sometimes you're always just putting a video out there and saying, I don't have any content, and I'm chatting, and it's okay. Sometimes people don't need to watch your video. They just want to watch your video. So I guess that's what we're doing today. We're just making a video about nothing. Nothing important. Life here is good. And in fact, I was thinking about that a little bit earlier. I had a friend of mine post on Facebook about something political, and I don't want to discuss politics. I serve this country. I'm proud of my country. I love my country. I don't like the direction that it's been heading for several years. And I'm not blaming that on one political party. I think both of them are plainly full of shit. And one party isn't the savior over the other. I think they've all played us like fools. But I do know this, irrespective of that, I could focus a lot of my free time on that. I could focus so much more on what's happened to our country that maybe I don't agree with, and maybe someone else does. I don't know. That I could make myself miserable. And what good is it? I remember my dad when he was so sick, and he was concerned about the governor at that point. He had made the opposing team, so to speak, made a video and said that the governor was going to slash your Social Security benefits. Anyone that ever took a political science class understands that a state doesn't do that. They can't do that. It's an act of the federal government. Well, my father, he believed the commercial, and he was hollering at the TV when I happened to come over and visit. And I said, Dad, they're all full of shit. Don't worry about that. You should be worrying about your health, worry about tomorrow. And it wasn't just a short time later that he passed away. So all that hollering at the television and all that animosity and the discontent or the hatred didn't do him or anyone else any good. In fact, my mom probably had to listen to him scream at the TV every day, every time a commercial came on, a political commercial that wasn't to his liking. And I watched that intently, and I said, I don't ever want to be that way. There's a lot of good in this country, and there's also a lot of bad. And I think that goes worldwide. No matter where you are, there's no paradise. I honestly think that governments are controlled by a whole bunch of evil people. No matter where you are in the world, they're all greedy, and they make it that way. I think this world could be a paradise, but humankind, irrespective of your color or the shape of your eye, just doesn't allow it because they're just so damn greedy. And then you've got all of us trapped in the middle. So I don't want to waste much of my effort on any of that. In fact, I don't want to hear about this upcoming election. because they're never going to solve our problems anyway. I've watched this go on my whole entire life. They don't solve any problems. All they do is they give you a song and dance, and one party or the other talks you into believing them, and they still don't do a thing. So I'm not going to waste my time with that. Um, I live in a beautiful area of Wisconsin. I've got wonderful neighbors. I've got a bunch of great friends. I've got wonderful family, and my family right here. I've got everything I need. Could life be easier? Sure, it could. Do I wish I had more money in the bank? Absolutely. Do I wish there wasn't inflation? Do I wish that the pandemic never happened? Of course I do. But I can't control them things. All I can do is try to be a good husband, a good father, go to work every day, and make everything jive at the end of the month. And in the meantime, try to keep my family happy. And I think a lot of times people forget about that. Especially a whole bunch of my friends that are in other parts of the world, and primarily a bunch of my friends that are in the Philippines. They went to the Philippines because they weren't happy with America, but yet they live with that. I would say not a hatred, but a with a discontent of America. They carry that with them into the Philippines, and they don't let it go. And I see comments lots of times on Facebook from friends of mine that are there, and if they make too many negative comments, I just unfollow them, and I don't want to hear them. It's like, you were fortunate enough in your life to go and retire in the Philippines, and possibly create your paradise. And I'm not there again. I'm a realist. Philippines isn't everyone's paradise either. The internet's bad, the roads are bad, it's hot, electricity costs 2 or 3 times more than here, food's expensive. Um, you got cheap rent, you know. You got weather that's basically 90 degrees year round with humidity, and yes, you get used to it. But I mean, if I was looking for an escape, I I don't feel that I need to go to the Philippines to escape anything. I myself personally, I want to go to the Philippines because I want to be there with my wife and her family, and enjoy the positive things that the Philippines have to offer. And I don't need to bring a political party or a political belief with me when I go there. Okay. Like I said, this is my country. I serve this country and I love this country. And yes, there are a lot of things that are wrong with it, but I'm not going to diss my country and then go to the Philippines. And I see that happen a lot too. If they take out their anger and discontent, and it's like, I want to be part of the solution, not the problem. And hollering and screaming at my neighbor or an unknown individual on Facebook doesn't solve anything. The one thing that's made our country great through history is that we have a Declaration of Independence and we have a Bill of Rights. And our Bill of Rights gives us them inalienable rights that no one can take away. And with that, we can pass laws, and that laws can be retracted for the better of all. So I believe there's hope and change, so to speak. Not that I'm using that for any political party that's used it in the past, but I believe there is. This country has been going through a lot of turmoil over the last, gosh, thinking back, probably as long as I've been alive, if not longer. And it just continues. I don't know what happens. I'm old enough that I watched the civil rights movement unveil. I seen how evil racism was firsthand. So many changes. The Vietnam War. I saw all of that unfold, and what I did learn at my young age, as a older teenager at that point, was that our country was willing to sacrifice 58,000 kids for their bullshit, plain and simple. Um, Political wars are a joke, and any country that's willing to sacrifice 58,000 kids for nothing has a problem. That was way back in 1972. So if you think today that all the problems are just because of one party or another, or it happened the last election cycle or the one prior, that's not true. You got a short memory. This has went on and went on. And you hope as a society that we learned a lesson with Vietnam. You hope that as a country, as a whole, and honestly, I think we have. I don't think that mistake will happen again. During the war in Afghanistan, I had met a gentleman from Namibia, and a buddy and I had went there. We were at one point thinking of going to Africa on a hunt. And he said to us that the world was amazed at how much war we brought to Afghanistan with so few losses. And he said, it's amazing, man. It's amazing. The world knows how good you really are. And I guess there's good and bad to that, you know. A lot of things have changed. I don't think that I don't think they're so quick to throw away a young man or a young woman's life, which is a positive thing, by the way. Not that sometimes we could do a smarter job at choosing our battles. And I'm not the one in the driver's seat to dictate if we should or shouldn't be there or here or wherever else we are in the world either, you know. So like I said, I think it's a progression of a country where, you know, we haven't been a country. We're a young nation, still a young nation, and we're learning. And knowing that, that gives me sometimes a little reassurance that the country I love, even though we got all these problems and issues, it'll get better, you know. And that's all I can hope for. But I know that I'm not gonna live my life every day here complaining and pissing and moaning. I'm not going to do that, you know. Tomorrow we got a couple errands we're going to do in the morning, and then we're going to hop on the snowmobiles and take a little ride. You know, there's some beautiful country out there. Beautiful country that we haven't seen since last year, and that's why I work so damn hard on the snowmobile, so we can go out and enjoy it. In fact, I'd like to bring the GoPro along so I could share a little bit of that with you. So that's kind of where we're at right now. You know, I didn't have a lot of content, but sometimes I do have a lot to say, and sometimes, is it really worth talking about? You know what I mean? I did a video about happiness, about being happy, and that's one part of me being happy that I live by. You know, I don't spend a lot of time and effort on national news whatsoever. Although I do a lot of reading, I know what's going on. And even with the reading, do you actually get a true picture? I try to read several different sources every day. So I hope I got a pretty good perspective on things. And I watch my local news because I want to know what happened downtown yesterday, or the traffic accident that went on. Someone may have gotten injured or something. I want to hear that stuff, but I don't want to hear all the politics and the stuff going on with the border, because it's you know, it's, you know, that's another story in itself. That's been going on for 60 plus years. I remember when Ronald Reagan naturalized like 3 million illegals, and the world just, everybody just throwing their hands in the air and screaming and hollering. And, I brought my wife here legally. We've jumped through every hoop that we're supposed to jump through. And it hasn't been easy, and it hasn't been cheap. I also understand that when you come from nowhere with no dreams, you'd love to come to a country like this. But coming here, jumping the border isn't the answer. It's never been the answer. So both political parties, of course. In fact, a buddy of mine, Rick Baker, him and I did a couple of videos together. The Good, the Bad, the Philippines. We were chatting about that this morning. And it's either party has had the political will to fix our immigration system. And so you got California, Texas, and Arizona that are swamped. New Mexico, they're swamped with illegals. And it's crazy. It's literally insane that goes on. But yet people like ourselves that do it legally, we jump through the hoops that take several years and cost thousands of dollars to appease the government. And meanwhile, the federal government doesn't protect our border. And, like our last president said, if we don't have a border, we don't have a country. And I truly believe that. And there again, I don't watch the news because I don't want to hear about it. What are they doing? They could have passed laws a long time ago. They've been unwilling to. So I don't know what their motive is as politicians. I don't know who's feeding the flames, but I know that I can't do a thing about it. And some days you just have to, repeat the serenity prayer to yourself and accept the things that I can't change. And I try to do that and just be happy. So we've been really busy the last 3 weeks. I apologize. I couldn't get out better content than what you have right here today. It's just me chatting to you, I guess. And maybe that's okay. I don't know. But we were just busy with life. And, I drive truck 4 days a week. In fact, one of my buddies suggested I bring the YouTube along, the camera along with me in the truck. And maybe one of these days I'm going to do that. I had a lot of great ideas when I'm driving down the road, and then I get home and I'm tired, and, it's been a long day. And, well, my mental retention at that point seems to slip just a little bit, because there's 2 things I want when I get home. I want to eat a good meal, and I want to relax. I, of course, have a kiss from my wife. And but I want to do them things. And once I do them things, the YouTube is somewhere way back there on a back burner. So that's just the way life is. We're not full-time vloggers. We've got a life here. And like I said, we work and we live our life. And here tonight, it's roughly, it's 7:15. And on a Sunday evening, I would like to be cuddled up on the couch with my wife. But I thought I really do owe a video to my subscribers or people that follow and want to know what happened to us, And that's really what happened, just busy, just living life. And I do have a video coming out shortly. It's about sending money to the Philippines. Hopefully that'll be a video for you to. It may upset some, and others might like it. So, with that note being said, if you like our channel, please subscribe. Hit the like button, will you? And if you do subscribe, send us a message. I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, talk to you later.